Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 252 of the Seal Podcast. On Friday, the 13th of December, 2024.
Ooh. Scary.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen. But yes, it's just me and Dave so far. Me being Neil, and Dave being this guy.
Hello. Yeah, no Fraser today.
He's got work stuff to attend to. I'm sure he was thrilled when his boss said he had a meeting to attend to on a Friday afternoon. It's like, I hope he's had words, but we'll see. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe a special guest will jump in at some point, but so far, they're not here, so it doesn't look like it. I don't know. But it's been a bit of a, I've been pretty shit on the communicating with the special guest, so he might have the arse. Or he might just be busy. Anyway, we're here for another show.
Yep.
Dave has returned.
Yeah.
After a couple of weeks away.
It feels like it's been forever. One thing after another.
Yeah.
Just hasn't been. But yep, I'm here.
Good. Well, let's make it a good show.
Yes.
Well, let's at least try to, anyway. So, tradition means that we should start with the football, I guess. Let's get that out of the way. Because
yes.
I don't really want to talk about it.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
It wasn't great on a personal level. But, so people at the top of the league weren't particularly great either. In fact, they were a lot worse. Not I say a lot worse. They were worse than I did. First top three all scored less than I did, which is shocking because I was poo. Luciano holds on to top spot. He got 38 points. He's on 936 points. Nathan also got 38 points. Got 930 points. So it's pretty close. Top two. But David is only 10 points behind second. He scored 44, so he gained 6 points. But Joel Reeves moved up to fourth, 897. So there's a bit of a gap developing there from third onwards. But, Joel got 68 points. He outscored the rest of it above it by at least 20 points. So you can easily catch up 20 points in 1 week. I did shit. I got 48 points. I discussed it on the show last week, I think. On Friday, I got fed up. I got rid of Haaland, brought in Evan Nielsen of Bournemouth, and brought in Mo Salah in the early hours of Friday, and got rid of, I can't remember, Mbermo, I think it was, maybe? Or was that the week before? Anyway, got rid of somebody. Smith Rowe it was last week. And then the Liverpool game got called off. As I said, maybe was going to happen. It got called off. So I cost myself 4 points. And Mo Salah didn't even fucking play because Liverpool didn't play. So that was a bit of a waste. I could have just waited a week. But that's my week, going down the shitter. It was Haaland scored, obviously, as well. Only one, though, thankfully.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Football. It was pretty shit all round, most people last week, I think. It was one of the weakest weeks we've had on the league for a while, I think. There was a few good scorers. Mike Redmond, who was my opponent in the head-to-head this week, I noticed. I've beat all the Yanks that I've come up against so far, I have beaten in the head-to-head. Despite 2 of the 3 of them being ahead of me in the league now. I have actually beaten them all in the head-to-head. So that's all that matters, really, when it comes to bragging rights, is whether you beat them in the head-to-head. Not whether they finish you above you in the main league. I need to keep that up this weekend. But it's been a pretty ropey run of form for me lately. But as far as I know, there isn't any horrendous weather happening this weekend. So I think all the fixtures will be going ahead.
Yes. Yeah. No storms. So it's coming our way.
It's time yet for a surprise storm to fuck my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I haven't made any transfers this week so far, just in case.
How did Fraser do?
Fraser? I don't know if he wants us to talk about that. Let's have a look. Oh,
Oh, I'm Jesus. I'm ahead of Fraser this year.
yeah,
So
yeah.
at the moment, bloody
Fraser's
hell.
having an absolute stinker. He's in 26th, and he got 42 last week. He is 7th from bottom.
And I'm 10
7th
points in front of him.
from bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
So there we go. If anyone didn't catch that, that's Fraser 7th from bottom.
Yeah, I got 56 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
you are 10
leapfrogged
points
him.
clear. Yes, nice. Good move, Steve. Nice. Keep it up.
Yes.
Who have you got in the head-to-head, you know? Right. Speaking of head-to-head, let's have a quick look at the head-to-head league. David, not top in the main league, but is top in the head-to-head. Still clear by 6 points.
Not
From
me.
Luciano. Yeah, David
Yeah.
Kinsey. This is the Fraser's nemesis. He's maintained a 6 points gap at the top. There's 2 people now on 30 points. I think Luciano may have lost in the head-to-head last week. Is that right? I think I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, he lost to Elusive Man last week. So yeah, head-to-head league. There are 24 points between top and bottom in the head-to-head league. Obviously, 3 points for a win. Dave, you're joint bottom in the head-to-head league. 12 points. 4 wins, 11 defeats. I'm sure I don't need to say anything, Dave. You can do better.
Yeah.
That's enough of that. Yeah, so back to normal this week. I don't know. We've had Champions League in the week. Don't know what Chelsea are going to do because they had a 16,000 kilometre round trip and went to play in Kazakhstan and returned, I think, this morning at 6 a.m. or something. And it was -10 when they were playing. So I'm sure they loved it, every minute of it. They won anyway in Kazakhstan. How is Kazakhstan in Europe? Doesn't sound like a European country. I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's like Eastern European.
Fucking very far east for Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't really sound like it's in Europe. It's in UEFA at least. I'm still not convinced it's actually part of Europe, but there we go. Anyway, that's enough of that nonsense. I'm sure I'm going to beat Mike Redmond this weekend and all will be good. So now we have a few questions from the listeners. Kicking things off, we have got MS Rangers, who says, "Evening Seals. Evening. So, with the release of Hunt Showdown on Xbox Game Pass, do you think it will give you a better chance of easy winning streaks with new blood entering the metaverse? Finally, how willing are you to help and guide newbies into the fold of the game you all talk about 90% of the time on a Friday night?" Well, maybe we'll talk about Hunt Showdown and get what we've been playing for section. But the addition to Xbox Game Pass does nothing for us Steam players because it's not crossplay.
Is there no crossplay?
No.
Oh, okay.
But maybe it's good for the game because there's more eyes on the game through Game Pass. Game Pass does seem to give games a bit of a boost wherever they're available. People do buy games that have been on Game Pass that maybe they don't have access to because they don't have Game Pass, but suddenly people are talking about it. I've not played it on Xbox. I don't play on it. I can't remember the last time I actually played on Xbox. Play on my PS5 and my PC. But it's good because my PC is an Xbox. It's like a t-shirt. It's like it's a t-shirt or something. Anyway. Willing to help and guide newbies. Yeah, I've tried to get my son into it. I've had a few games with him. He's okay, but he plays on a controller because he's a freak.
What, even on the PC?
Yeah, he plays all of his games on controller. Well, not all of them, because he plays Football Manager a lot now. So obviously not using controller for Football Manager.
That
would be
madness. Yeah.
Although there is like the console version, which is like the touch version. It's like the iPad version, but it's on consoles. His mates play it on it because they got Game Pass.
Right.
So they play that on the console, and they've had like I've heard them. He's played with them, and they've all had like a multiplayer Football Manager session going or something. I don't know. I'm not playing Football Manager. I'm not going down that fucking hole.
I've done it. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. He's been playing the PC version. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm watching a YouTube video." I was like, "What's that about then?" Installing mods for Football Manager. I was like, "So you can install mods for the Game Pass version, by the way, if you didn't know, on PC." So he's been installing like all the club badges, loads of player pictures. It's fucking like tripled the size of install of Football Manager. It's actually got shitloads of actual extra stuff on there now. But it actually looks like a proper game, I guess. They actually paid people royalties to have their appearances in the game, which obviously they haven't done, which is why they're not there. But yeah, I might have a little bit to say about Hunt Showdown in the what we've been playing section, but I promise I won't go on about it all night. So thanks, Mark, for the question, and thanks, by the way, shout out to Mark for getting in touch around eczema stuff offline. But yeah, we'll move on. Chipper Spice has a question. She says, "What is the best game you ever got for Christmas?" Can you remember the last game you got for Christmas, let alone the best of the game?
It's when I was a kid. It's a toss up between Street Fighter 2, which came with the Super Nintendo, or it was SimCity. No, not SimCity. Yeah, SimCity for the SNES. That was a Christmas present.
SimCity for the SNES. God, that must have been terrible.
Honestly, it wasn't very good. Yeah. It was good at the time. But yeah. That was a year or two later when I had the SNES, and I got it as a Christmas. I really wanted that game so much. I got it for Christmas
because I was such a long time ago that anyone bought me a video game. I don't honestly know if I can remember the last time I got a video game for Christmas.
It must have been. Did you not have a PlayStation or a Wipeout or something?
I would have bought that. I bought that. Well, I don't know if I had. Did I have a PS1? My brother had a PS1. I had a Sega Saturn. But I bought.
Right.
I didn't buy his PlayStation. He bought his PlayStation 1. He's 4 years younger than me, and he bought his PlayStation.
Okay.
Spent fucking loads of money at. Oh, what was that shop? It was like a toy shop. I don't know if it was Toys R Us, but it was like a massive bundle, and it came with loads of stuff. So it was obviously double the price of the PlayStation by the time you'd finished paying for it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been such a long time, man. Before that, I was like, when I was young, I had a Commodore 64. Was probably I don't even know if my mum and dad would have bought me games for that.
Right.
Can't honestly remember. And I bought a SNES. So that's how old I am.
Not a NES or a...
No, we didn't have consoles. I went from Commodore 64, and then I had an Atari ST, but I can't remember if that came after or before the SNES, because that's a bit of a... That must have been before, because everyone had an Amiga when I was at school. And SNES was a little bit later when I got that, definitely.
Yeah, and that was just copying games onto discs. You didn't really
on the Amiga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a piracy fucking disc. I'm surprised any video game companies were still in business from that era, because like they made games, no one bought them. Nobody bought them. Well, one person bought them and then copied it for everybody else. But I had an Atari ST, so it wasn't quite as bad on the Atari ST, I guess. Well, it wasn't quite as rife, because there wasn't as many Ataris, at least in this country. Everyone seemed to have an Amiga. So I don't know, honestly, is what the best... I can't honestly remember having a video game for Christmas. I have no recollection of opening that wrapping paper and going, wow, you've actually got something I wanted.
Oh, that's quite sad, really.
Yeah. Oh, these socks don't fit in my PlayStation. Oh, more pants.
Yeah.
No, I had some alright presents, I guess. Honestly, can't remember anything. I'm so ungrateful. So, so yeah, sorry, Shipper, from me. I can't remember anything. Master Blackthorn also got in touch, and he says, "Is anyone playing Path of Exile 2 Early Access? It's really bloody good. Maybe even edges out Diablo 4 as my favourite current ARPG. It's slower paced than Path of Exile 1, and you can really notice influence from games like Elden Ring and Souls, especially with the boss fights." So, are you playing, Dave?
Nope.
Oh, not either. I
No,
know
I don't even know where. I've seen people play it, but I don't know where it's on. I guess
it's on
on
Steam for sure, and I
Steam.
think it must be on the consoles, but you have to pay to get the early access. It's 24 quid or something to buy a bundle of shit to get early access.
Right.
Or you can wait till it's free to play when it actually releases. So I'll probably wait because I'm a tight ass. I say I'm a tight ass. I've bought enough games lately. I've got a big stack. I've just added to my backlog recently. So yeah, I haven't played it. I know Sean, used to be on the show many years ago. He's playing it. But yeah, haven't heard from Sean for a little while. We should have a little get together at some point somewhere, online maybe. But yeah, I never played the first one either. Honestly, did you?
No.
Are you a Diablo person as well? Do you play?
I played
we all played a bit.
Diablo.
Yeah, we talked about this the other week.
Yeah.
Or was that last week we were talking about Diablo?
Oh, I wasn't including that, but no, I played a bit of Diablo.
Yeah, I remember you
not a
talking
huge
about
amount.
it. I couldn't remember playing it, but apparently I did. So yeah, not my cup of tea, really. I guess that kind of thing. But yeah, intrigued if it's better than the old first one. Maybe when it gets to free to play, I'll have a little dabble. Maybe depends what else is about then. What I'm also playing. And then Mr. Chin says simply, Indiana Jones game. Thoughts? Have you got thoughts about Indiana Jones game?
I do.
Are we going to be discussing Indiana Jones game in what we've been
Well,
playing?
I think I played it. I know. Well, I played it.
I played a bit of it for sure. Yeah, I played a fair bit of it. So we'll get onto that, Mr. Chin.
We'll get to that. Yeah. Has Chinny got thoughts? That was.
Well, I'm assuming we're going to hear their thoughts on Sunday night's show because it's their Play My Game Bitch, as far as I'm aware, this week. And I've been playing their Game Bitch, so we'll talk about it first. That's the benefit of coming out on a Friday. Or a Saturday morning, well, if you listen to the audio version. Anyway, that's all the questions we've had. Thank you all for getting in touch. Maybe Fraser shouldn't come in on it more often because we had loads of questions today. when I ask for questions when he's on, isn't there? We don't want no one else. Anyway, we love Fraser, really. We're going to what we've been doing. Looks like it's going to be a brief one because I've not put anything in. Fraser's not here, and special guest is not here. And Dave, you've got 2 things on.
I've got a couple of things. Yeah. Well, with Christmas coming up, I was invited to go to our Christmas do for work. So it was a very posh place we went to. It's actually in Milton Keynes.
Can't be that posh if you're in Milton Keynes.
It was quite posh actually. It was where it's next to the football stadium, MK Dons.
Oh, what, the hotel in the stadium, or like sort of conference
next
slash.
to it. It was the DoubleTree Hotel. There's a venue next to it.
The DoubleTree Hilton Hotel.
The DoubleTree Hilton. We were supposed to be staying over, but reasons we didn't. So yeah, we went, and there was people walking around on stilts. And like it was a very it was a I did do a picture to you guys, but it was very posh.
It looked fancy.
It was quite fancy. We worked out there was about 1,000 people, guests
Holy
there.
shit!
It
Was it just
yeah,
your
big.
company, or was it like one of those
No,
weird ones where
no.
the loads of companies get together?
There were loads of different companies got together. There was 100 tables, or over 100 tables of 10 people each sitting to eat. And they had like acrobatics going on, and they had a DJ set going on, and yeah, all the food came out pretty quickly, and it was pretty good food. But yeah, like there was some drinks on the table, but like that we didn't. But there was some people that had wristbands, basically had unlimited alcohol. That was one of the quite weird things. We walked in, was like, why is there loads of security on? Because there was loads of security on. Checking everybody
The people who are getting shit
going in.
faced.
Yeah, towards the end of the night, I did see a few people get kicked out for being a bit too drunk, a bit too merry. Yeah.
Well, a bit too merry. They were merry. No one else anywhere near them was.
Yeah. But you get that when there's like
A free
shitloads
bar?
of people, free bar for a lot of people. A lot of these, there was quite a few younger people.
Well, you can't trust those young folk.
Yeah. Yeah, enjoying themselves and way too much. As when somebody says free alcohol, or open bar, and yeah, I've done it myself.
Surely not.
Overindulge a little bit.
I've never known you to be like slightly hungover the morning after the night before.
I'm a happy drunk, or if when I've had too much, I know I've had too much, and that's it. I've always been like that.
Oh, I
It's like,
definitely
no,
don't know how to do it.
I'm too drunk now. I'm gonna go, and I wander off and go for. Some people are just either angry drunk, or they just can drink until like they.
I think
dead.
I would literally drink until I passed out if I could.
Right.
Once I get beyond a certain point, I would just carry on, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad. That's not a good way. Sorry, it's not a good thing to do. It's not...
Yeah. Whereas I'm like, I get to a point, I'm like, nah, I'm done. But I'm not like so blattoed that I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been pass out drunk. I've never been so drunk I don't remember the night before or anything.
Definitely woken up the morning after I'm gone. How did I get here? Where am I? That kind of shit.
Awesome.
It's like try and retrace my steps last night. Where did I get to before everything's just a blur?
But I was actually driving in the end, so I only had a couple at like 7, 8 o'clock, and we left at about 11:30, 12.
Very sensible, Dave.
And then stopped for the obligatory McDonald's run.
Ugh.
So 20 nuggets. I had a big
that's
tasty.
Disgusting. How can you have nuggets from McDonald's? They are the worst thing in history.
Nuggets, big tasty. I think my daughter and my missus, they had a double cheeseburger.
Was your daughter at the party as well?
No, she was at home.
She picked her up and went to Macca's.
No, I picked up Macca's on the way home.
So
and then came home with a hot Macca's. And then
do you keep like a thermal insulated bag in the car for these occasions when you're going to do the Macca's run?
Nah, there's a McDonald's not far away from us, so literally like on the way home, stop there, and then
you don't moonlight as a Pizza Hut delivery driver or something.
No.
The perk being you get to keep like the heated bag.
Yeah. It's a good idea though. Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe it would save me some time. But, what about you? You got any Christmas dues planned?
No.
You don't do Christmas dues at your place?
Apparently not.
Or you're not invited.
Well, I haven't seen anything about one. I went into work on Wednesday, and I walked into the restaurant on my way through to work. I was like, what the fuck's going on in here? It's like a little karaoke machine, some lights going on. Apparently they had a Christmas party at work on Tuesday. I was like, oh, that's nice. I wasn't fucking there.
Brilliant.
Would have been grumpy anyway. I'm not. I don't fucking like that when they do that shit. I'm like, you coming up for your Christmas lunch? I'm like, no, I'm extremely fucking busy, and if I go for a fucking hour lunch now, I'm just going to come back to even more fucking work to do. No thanks. So yeah, bit of a grump.
Oh,
Not like me,
yeah,
is it?
You're a
Really?
Christmas grump, and yeah.
Yeah, I am the fucking
Yeah.
Grinch. Um.
No, very good.
So yeah, I don't know. We haven't had anything about an actual work do. You'd think a multi-billion-dollar company might be able to fucking do something. But I got a little bag with a card which no one actually wrote in, a chocolate orange, and a
Oh.
raffle ticket.
I remember. Sorry, I've got a chocolate orange in my bag. I can't give them.
I hope it's not a heated bag.
No. Although my laptop was in it at the same
It's
time.
partially heated.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got a little goodie bag from work. But
It's not that much of good in it. Honestly,
no,
I was like, there was no writing on the fucking envelope for the card or anything. I was like, wow, thanks. Must have
so
taken you ages.
impersonal. Yeah.
Must have taken you ages to do this. At least they put it in the. They didn't just give me a card and an envelope without putting the card in the envelope. I suppose we did actually go to somewhat bit of effort there. I guess they pay me at the end of the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for?
Yeah, should be grateful for it.
Yes. It's not the only reason I fucking go there.
So yeah, so that was it. I had a good time.
Cool.
It was a bit weird. It was a bit weird, but it was a multi-company thing. It wasn't very personable. Like all the Christmas days I've been to before has just been.
Was anyone
company.
throwing mad shapes on the dance floor and stuff like that, and just like really living it large? And everyone else was like looking and going, "Who the fuck are this lot?"
They opened the dance floor about 10:30, and literally it was like Well, it's because it was all sit down meal and acrobatics going on in the middle and all that, and then they opened the dance floor at 10:30, and it was a rush, like just fucking like hundreds of people literally like charging to us.
Did they play the Venga Bus?
I don't know what they're playing. I don't know. I got out of there pretty quickly.
It was just noise.
No, I didn't see any mad shapes being thrown, but yeah, it was a gaggle of women just fighting to get on the dance floor.
It wasn't obviously a long enough party for the blokes to have drunk enough to get on the dance floor.
No, not at that point. Yeah. So, other than that, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is we watched a TV series called Supercell.
Okay, not heard of this.
It's based in London, and it's people discovering they've got powers, and it's because of the lineage through having sickle cell, and they've got a mutation that's called sickle cell, and it's following like a few different people, like 1 or 2 people in some gangs, a random delivery driver.
He doesn't need a heated bag.
He doesn't need. No, I think he works for. It's not Amazon, but it's like some.
It's not like a takeaway delivery driver. He just puts his hand on the cold takeaway to warm it up. Lamest superhero ever.
It takes an episode to get into it, but it is really good. There's like 8 episodes into it. About 45 minutes.
Where is that available, Dave?
I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, really? It sounds a bit like a Channel 5 job.
No. Actually, it's the Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the Channel 5 of streaming services, I think. Netflix.
It's really good. Really worth a watch, actually. If you see it, pop it on. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. Me and the missus.
I won't watch it. So don't watch anything. I had a mare earlier. We had a Pizza Hut delivery earlier. That's why I'm feeling extremely fat and bad. But at the end of my order, I had a little pop-up come say, "Oh, you've got a 30 months free trial of Apple TV Plus. Would you like to activate it?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." I just pressed the red button, because that's normally the one you're supposed to click. And as I pressed it, it said, "No thanks." I was like, "Oh, bollocks." And then there's no way to re-find it either. I was fuck's sake. You've had a free month of Apple TV, and I fucking just said no.
Oh.
There was like a white box and a red box. I'm like, you click the red box, don't you? Just like naturally, just like that's the one that looks like I'm supposed to press it. Because it's not just like the same colour as the rest of the page. Oh, no,
Right.
I pressed the wrong button.
You'll have to order another pizza.
I'm not doing that because I've got enough fucking pizza to last all day tomorrow as well. 2 for 20 quid. 2 for 20 quid. So we got 4 large pizzas for 40 quid. 40 fucking quid. What am I thinking? It's mental, isn't it? They're quite large pizzas though. Well, I said
it's like
we got 2
dinner,
sides. It's like 50 quid.
Lunch.
And I was like, my daughter's like, that's not bad. That's pretty cheap. I was like, are you fucking mental? 50 quid. I could have had a really good night down a pub for 50 quid. It's 20 years ago, at least.
I was going to say, nowadays, it's like, 4 pints. Between you and the missus.
Yeah. But hey. Supercell, right. I've been watching Day of the Jackal. Well, it's been pretty shit, obviously, the last week or so. But we managed to get around to finally catching up on I don't know what episode we're on. But that's finished. But we haven't finished.
Right.
We're about just over halfway. I think we might have watched episode 5.
Okay. Is it good?
Yesterday. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's good.
All right.
So
I've seen it like advertised.
But yeah, all episodes are out now, so you should be able to get it whichever way you choose to get these things. Mr. Cox is in the chat. Just said Supercell and Jackal both very good.
Cool.
So we're not mad.
Yeah,
we're not mad.
Day of the Jackal. I'll see if I can.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the film or the book. Loosely based on the book, I guess, is what I can say because it's
right.
I haven't read the book or watched the original film, but yeah, it's a bit different. They basically call the guy the Jackal. I think that's about the only similarity, and he shoots people.
Right.
Honestly, bit of spoilers, but he shoots quite a lot of people. So,
is this the Jackal or like
the Jackal? The Jackal is the assassin. That's his code name. But yeah, he's quite bad man. He's not a very nice man.
Is he like an anti-hero? Is he?
I guess he's not. Yeah, I don't find. Andy says that the only similarity is when he shoots a melon. I mean, is that just like a melon as in someone's head, or an actual melon? Because he does actually shoot a melon in the TV show.
Is that when he's
like
strapped his gun to a tree or something?
Yes. Have you seen this clip or something? That's literally what happens, or is that happens in the film?
I've seen the original film. Yeah.
Okay, that happens in the TV show.
Yeah. Okay, right. That's the famous thing about that.
Oh, it's not that famous because I didn't fucking know that was in the film.
Okay.
But that definitely happens in the TV show. It's apparently, and it says he uses it for practice. It's a major scene in the film. It's not that big a deal in the TV show. I think it's literally about 5 minutes. So imagine stretching that out for a fucking long time. Not much else goes on in that film, obviously. I don't know. Maybe he shoots the French president, because that's what their fucking story is about. So, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Because I ain't seen it. Anyway.
Anywho.
You got anything else to talk about?
No, not really.
Well, it's that time of the show where we talk about video games. Then I guess.
Yeah.
You've got a few. I guess you've been making up for a week off.
3 weeks off.
2 weeks off, really, Dave.
2 weeks off.
You were off. We all had a week off, and then you had an extra week.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you want to start?
I'll start from the beginning.
Okay. That's always a good place to start, usually.
That's what I was thinking. So, first game I want to talk about is Dungeon Crawler. Dungeon Crawler.
That game again, Dave.
That game again. That I played the demo quite a lot, and then it came out. I'm not sure if it's early access release. Don't know. Um, Dungeon
Oh
Crawler.
shit! I pressed the wrong button. Oh.
It's early access.
Is it
Um,
early access?
It is early access.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was out now.
It's released, but it's not 1.0 because they're still adding characters and other things.
Benny Beaver
Um,
apparently is in it. I've just noticed. I've just seen.
Benny Beaver is one of the characters, yeah, and he has a dam that absorbs damage before it gets damaged here. So I've been hammering it, and
You've been
I've
hammering the
done
beaver.
I've been hammering the game. I've completed it on nightmare difficulty
Oh my
with at
god!
least one character. So I've done pretty good on it. I haven't unlocked all the achievements yet. There's a few achievements I haven't got, but they require you to sort of build cheesy builds, getting over 1,000 strength or 5,000 damage in one hit. And there's one or two others, but like I can do it, but it's just like you've got to get the perfect run to do it and the perfect build to do it. I just can't be asked. But I've beat it on nightmare difficulty, the highest difficulty on I think 1 or 2 characters now. Yeah, I love it. It's good. It takes about an hour per run. If you get
Is
to
that
the
if
end
you get all the way
and
to the end?
finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like a bit of RNG and a bit of skill, with using the claw and knowing what you've got to
What
pick up and
makes you play this over, I don't know, a Balatro, for example, or a Slay the Spire type of thing?
I never really got into Slay the Spire. I don't know. I just think it's the mechanics of the actual skill itself, of like knowing where to drop the claw and um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I've played some of these games before, but this one's just really yeah, piqued my interest. So don't know why. Just as it's a great little
It's
game.
inexplicable, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's funny and stupid, but easy to pick up, hard to master.
You
Yeah.
say that you finished it on Nightmare Mode, Dave. It sounds like you've mastered it.
Uh,
Or you just get how many times have you? What's your success rate then? You say you finished it twice, and then how many times have you attempted it?
on
Roughly.
nightmare difficulty, I've probably done about 10, 15 games on different things. It's one of those where you can fail very quickly. In the first like level or two. There's 20 levels in total, and there's normally 1 or 2 encounters per level. So yeah, if you can fail it very quickly, but then once you start building up your run and sort of specking in a specific way and playing to that, like either a high damage or high block build, or yeah, then it's quick. Once you start getting a foothold of what you actually want to do and how to build it into it, it normally goes okay, or at least for me anyway. So yeah, it's not. I haven't just like played 2 games and won them on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
It's taken a bit of time. And there were only 2 games with 2 specific characters. Each character plays completely different and have got different strengths and weaknesses.
So
So
you're like
um,
this Benny the Beaver character. Is that like your
yes.
character? You'll
So
play as sort of thing.
so when you start the game, you've got the option of choosing a character when you start. And Benny the Beaver say has got a dam that you stack shield on the dam itself to absorb damage. You don't get actually your health is quite low,
Yeah.
and you don't get much block yourself.
So you've got to
So
keep replenishing that dam.
you got to keep the dam as high block as possible, because as soon as the damage stacks up and gets rid of the dam,
You're screwed.
you've got you've got like 1 or 2 hits before you're dead. And each enemy has different attack types and they can stack poison on you, or just like hit you, or throw things into the actual claw machine that hurt you directly. So if you're against an enemy that throws in spiky balls and you pick up spiky balls, they don't hit the dam, they hit the character. So it's just you got to you got to worry about what you're picking up and
So
where
you,
you're
but then
taking
like you can see where that shit's fallen in the claw machine, so you can try and avoid
Yes.
those things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's basically
Exactly.
what you're supposed to do. Is it say
Yeah.
so? The claw mechanic, does it basically work like one of those claw machines where you have to like
Yeah.
you hold the button down and
Yeah.
then let go, and that's when it drops, kind of thing. So you can
No, you can move left and right, and
right.
there's one character that you've only got 3 seconds. That's a very, I can't remember the character's name, but it's a very difficult one to do. You've only got 3 seconds to
Pick where you're going
use
to
the
drop
claw
the
machine
claw.
and pick. Yeah, that's really difficult, that one.
What's the benefit? There must be a good perk for that.
Yes,
like to offset that. Like, holy shit! If I don't get this right, then I'm fucked.
Yeah, you get I think you get 100% worth of the coins on that character. So it doubles your coins.
Right.
Doubles the amount. So you're trying to build a money based run on that one. In that, the more money you get, you can get weapons that do damage equal to the amount of money that you got. So you want to get
I
those
see.
weapons, and you want to get as most amount of money as possible, and and then be quick enough to pick those weapons up and play them from the claw machine. Sometimes it's really difficult because it all piles up in one corner, and like the stuff that you want is right at the bottom. There's
So it stiffs you.
Yep. Yeah. So
I just see like the pool of, I don't know what you call that stuff that you pick up with the claw. Sometimes there's liquid in there that sort of that appears to be liquid or something that obscures what you're picking up and shit like that.
Yeah, so sometimes you can you can get water put into it. Some of the enemies ink it, so you can't see what's there. You can put water, but you can change it either to lava or poison water, so you can stack. You get like fluff, which is normally nothing. It's just extra bits, but you can turn that into poison or damage. With certain perks, certain items in the thing. There's a lot to it.
Sounds like
It's
it.
Yeah.
It looks
really
like a super simple game, but
yeah,
there's clearly a bit more going on than meets the
yeah.
eye.
And I say it's just like I'll just jump on a run. I'll just like try and do this level that I haven't done on this difficulty with this character, and 2 hours later, I'm like, fuck's sake, still haven't beaten it, but you make you learn more about the characters and how they play and what best to play with those strengths and weaknesses of them. So yeah,
So
I am enjoying
good. I can't buy that game.
it.
Just eat into all of my game time potentially. Right. What we're doing next? Okay, so I'm going to talk about one that is sort of related to that because it came to Game Pass a couple of days ago, I think. What's it called? Wild Frost. Mr. Pilch was talking about it in the Discord. It is a card battler, somewhat like Slay the Spire or such and such. It's a bit different. They're all like, we've had so many of these now that for one of them to stand out, I guess, is difficult. But this is combining like your Hearthstone and Slay the Spire, I would say. It's a roguelike card deck building game. But instead of like Slay the Spire, you pick a character and then you get a deck of cards, don't you? And your character is throwing out cards to use it as attacks and stuff like that. But then you have cards that you can like boost your health and shit like that. So you get all of that sort of stuff in this Wild Frost. And you get that, but then you're playing. Your character enters like the board as a card in this game. There's like, well, so far there's either 1 or 2 rows because it's played on a horizontal plane. There's like 6 spots on each row, 3 your side and 3 the other side.
Right.
3 for your side and 3 for the enemy in each row. So your main character goes in on the left-hand side of the 3 or 6, depending on how many rows there are, and then all the enemy cards appear on the right-hand side. And you go through you've got then like a deck of cards to play from the bottom, a hand of cards to play from the bottom. It deals you 6 at a time from your deck. And so there's obviously you've got to try and be a little bit different because you can't just fucking copy all of these other games that are already out. So they have to do something with this mechanic. So like I say, your character, there's a heart symbol, which is your health. And then there's like the sword symbol, which is how much damage you do per attack as the character. And then at the bottom, there's like a timer. So your main character, every 4 turns, does their attack. You don't have control over when your main character attacks.
Right.
What you have is the cards that come out to loads of them are just like do 2 damage, do 2 damage, do 2 damage. But every time you play a card, that's a turn. And the timers all tick down. So all of the enemy cards have got timers on as well. They don't get the extra cards to play. You play like your 6 cards. Like I say, every time you play a card, that's a turn. And then as the turns tick down, the cards that are on the board will activate, do whatever they're supposed to do. So like your main you're the one that you've got to basically keep alive is one of the cards on the board. And then there's some of the cards that you get dealt you can play onto the board. And they'll be like a helper. Or you can put them in front of or between your main hero and their enemy so that they'll take the damage before you take it and stuff like that. But some of the things on the board, like your main one that I started with, they attack everything in one row whenever they activate. So it doesn't matter if anything's in between. There's some other enemy cards that do this. So when they activate, it doesn't matter whether you've got someone in front of you; they'll still attack your main card anyway.
Right.
And then, so there's it's a lot of stuff. It's all the same stuff you're kind of used to. It's like you'll have a card in the deck, a hand at the bottom that you can play to like freeze one of their cards, so the timer will stop. So it won't activate for 2 turns. So say they've got they're going to activate in 3 turns. You stick a snowball or whatever it's called on them, so that makes it 5 turns effectively before that card activates. Because some of their cards, like you can see, they've got 15 health, and they do 7 damage on an attack. And I'm like, fucking hell, that's a lot. Every other damage is like 1.
Right.
So it's like I need to get rid of that guy or stop him hitting my character somehow. And then, so far, like I say, from my hand of cards at the bottom, it's been like there's a sword attack. Sword attack does 2 damage, But as you go through once you've done a battle encounter, then you get the sort of Slay the Spire type map that goes along, but it's horizontal. And you click on like treasure is next or whatever in the line. So you unlock whatever, I can't remember what I've had out of the treasure piles. It might have been a card, I can't remember. And then there's like Frozen Travelers is one of the things that you can click on the map. And when you go there, you click the mouse on the ice box, and then when it opens, there's a choice of 3 cards. And they're all like people that you can play onto the board. And I've had 2 or 3 different types of those now. And some of those will like take all of the hits. They're like, what do you call that? There's like a thing that it's quite a common thing that happens. They're like
tank.
Is it tank? Yeah, like they'll make the opposition hit them before they hit everything else. Sort of thing. Taunt, that's the one.
Yeah.
And so you get all that sort of stuff coming in, and then you might be able to unlock a new card for your deck, separate from like the board that adds to the ones that get drawn. Because I'm seeing on the video loads of different types. All I've had so because I've had literally played it for like half an hour, and it was like I got to the first boss and died. So I was looking at it, I was like, I'm never going to beat this guy. He's got fucking tons of health, does loads of damage, and my guy's shit. I've got no special fancy cards that are going to stop this. Plus, I don't really know what I'm doing. So I died on the first big boss. Because what happens in addition to that, there's like two counters on the right hand side, a wave counter and a draw counter. So every time you take a turn, there's like a draw counter, and when it gets to like 0, you can just click it to redraw your hand for free.
Okay.
But before that, you can also, like, if you've got 5 cards you don't want to play, you can just click redraw hand, and it'll give you 5, 6 new cards, and get rid of the ones that are there. But it will cost you a turn to do so. So you can. There's a lot going on. There's quite a lot going on. It looks very simple. It's quite nice. The music's nice, and it's got a nice little cartoony vibe going. And I'll probably play a bit more over the next week to see if it gets its hooks in. But it's nicely, it's good. It's well made. Put it that way. It's well made and it looks nice. And I think it's all there. I think it's a finished game. So you could check it out if you've got Game Pass or you fancy paying for it. Wild Frost.
Game Pass.
Yeah, that's what Game Pass is good for. A game you might play for an hour or maybe 100 hours. Who knows? Well, that's enough of that.
Cool.
Maybe you'll play it, Dave.
Maybe. Is it one of the new ones that's come out?
It's literally came out this week. So.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Something else came out this week. So, would you like to do one of yours?
I'll do 2. I'll just say I've been playing Blops 6 a bit more. It's free double XP weekend.
Oh,
at the moment.
I played. I think it was last weekend.
As well. Did you?
After the show, was it? I think. I definitely played a bit with Pilch at some point. I can't remember.
How was it?
I was doing all right. We did Nuketown, whatever it is, all the time.
Yeah.
But we played 3 different game modes, I think. We had just a TGF match, kill confirmed, and
that's good.
domination.
Yep.
And
it's all about getting B.
Is it?
Control B, you control the map. Yes.
Well, you just need 2 points, is the way I understand the game. It's like, you just need 2 points. Stop going for the 3rd point, everybody.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
No.
Because that's when shit goes wrong.
Yeah. You just got to sit back. You got to get the second one. You got have your point, and then get B, and then just sit back and wait. Try and wait for them to come at you and defend. Yeah.
I was doing okay. I got 15 kills in 3 matches, I think. Only one of them was like, I don't think any of them actually died more. I think they were pretty close in a couple of games. But it was all right. That's
good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I was doing all right with my shitty mouse and keyboard controls versus those aimbot consolers.
Yeah. No, I still enjoy it. I jump on a couple of games, do the dailies, and then jump on.
Yeah, sometimes I look at the dailies and think, I ain't fucking do it.
There's 1 or 2 dailies. I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen. But yeah. Anyway, that was gonna be the quick one. The one I was gonna talk about is a game that I played before, and I actually had to reinstall it to play. It was Mutant Football League.
Mutant Football League.
It's quite an old game now. But I saw
just from the name, it sounds a bit like Blood Bowl.
Yes, it does sound a bit like Blood Bowl. But it's a live action game.
Yeah.
In this, I think it's the same universe.
It's that's Warhammer-y thing, isn't it? Is it or what's they call that?
Warhammer.
They have things from Warhammer in there, don't? Is it War?
Yeah,
Warhammer?
I think so.
But it's I can't remember. What's that over
I don't.
thing? The big company that does all of that shit.
Yeah.
There's like
Game
Space Marine. Is it? Yeah, Game Workshop. Is that it?
Game Workshop. Yeah. Yeah. But it's basically, it's not like Blood Bowl in that Blood Bowl is turn-based, I think it
Yeah.
is, and dice-based. This isn't. This is live action.
This is like Madden,
It's like Madden. Yeah.
but with brutality, more brutality,
But with extreme brutality. Yeah.
blood and guts.
Blood and guts and killing people and bribing the ref and just
It's just
getting
like
out
real
a
American
chainsaw.
football.
Yeah. And just pulling out a chainsaw and murderating the whole of the opposite team. And there's traps on some of the fields, either pits or like bear traps or lava pits. Yeah, it's really good actually. I played 2 seasons of it. I started as the worst team, the Tokyo Terminators or something like that. They're the worst, the worst of the worst. And then
Is it actually
as you
called
play,
Tokyo? Because I can see that it's San Francisco 40 Nightmares is one of the teams, and the Los Scandalous Damned.
Yeah,
are the
but
teams
this
that
one,
are playing
the
in
one
this
that
video.
the one that the worst team of the lot is Tokyo Terminators, I think it is called. But yeah, I started the Destiny, which is basically the league, and you get money for winning matches, that you can either revive your players or put money into their progress. You earn XP if they survive. You earn XP at the end of the matches and improve your players. You can there's a limited amount of transfers, people that you can buy in or transfer your players out to get other people in. But that's quite limited. And yeah, it's actually a good American football game, but it has injuries and health meters and yeah,
So
dirty
can
tricks
you
and
do the like NHL thing where you can actually just throw the gloves off and have a fight?
yeah.
With people, yeah. But you're actually like pressing buttons to like do the fight or shit.
So you can. There's a few dirty tricks that is basically just murderate the other players, but when you don't have when a play finishes, you have free control of your characters for about 5 or 6 seconds, of which it's just like just punch the other people, punch them or hit them on the floor, or yeah, just try and cause as much like injury as possible. There's you can get to a point where you don't have enough players left in your team and you forfeit the match because they've killed them all, or vice versa. You can kill their team. So you have 6 quarterbacks in your team, and if you run out of quarterbacks, that's it. You finish the game.
Seems like quite a lot compared to real American football.
Yes, until they start getting murdered, and you're like, fuck. And yeah, especially if at the start of the match, one of your best quarterback, because you always put your best players in if they die straight away, it's fine. You're fine. Yeah, it's really good. It's really tactical. You try and build your team as wide as possible, so you've got enough players in these positions. If any of them been taken out, that you got cover, and you can still play a game. But at the same point, you earn XP on your best players, so your best players are going to get better quicker if they survive. So yeah, it's good. It's an old game. There is a number 2 coming out, Mutant Football League 2, which is in early access at the moment. But they don't have the Destiny, the Creator League,
okay.
which is what I actually like playing.
So that's is that like Ultimate Team?
Yeah. It's like taking your team and trying to win the league championship.
Well, it's just normal seasons then. That's just
the normal season. Yeah, normal
okay.
season of like think it's
It's not like
10 or 12
trading
games.
players between like real people and shit.
No. I say there is some trades, but it's very limited. There's only a couple of trades that you
Is there
allow per
multiplayer?
season.
There
There is
must be
multiplayer. I
multiplayer.
don't know if it works though. I say it's quite an old game, so I don't know
Depends how
how
they
it's
did it.
working at the moment. Yeah. But I think it is a Ukrainian
really?
developer. So yeah, obviously it's not been developed as quickly as it would be normally. But yeah, really good game. As I say, I have played it before and I've talked about it before, but I don't know. I just got it in my. I had a hankering for a bit of American football, killing spree.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, really love that game.
Okay. Mutants.
You
What's
could
it called?
probably
Mutant
Mutant
Football
Football League.
League.
Yeah, you can probably pick it up cheap.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah, and I played that on the. It's optimized for the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a controller
You
based
played it
game.
on the old Steam Deck. Do you get on your Steam Deck these days?
I've got it right here, right in front of me. Yep,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I could play it. I didn't. I could play it on there, but no. This is
I've just
a
noticed.
PC game for me.
For some reason, Arnie's name is an orange, which is a bit of a clash with the orange on the background. But he says, "Hi, what's up, guys?" Couldn't see who it was for a minute there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, it's good.
I was tempted to buy a Steam Deck last week because refurbished OLEDs were available for the first time.
Ooh,
And they were like
yeah.
£110 cheaper for the top one than it normally is. I was like, that's quite a big discount. But it was still 460 quid, which made me go, no.
It's a big old chunk of change.
It is. Would have been quite handy to have had a Steam Deck the last couple of weeks, I think. But there we go. Hopefully there's no need for us to have one in future because that was a nightmare, to be honest. But there we go. Enough about that. Right. What have we got left? You've got what? 3 left. Okay, and I've got 3 left. Okay, great. Well, I am going to quickly talk about Hunt Showdown now because there's a new event. Have you heard of this chap called Post Malone?
I have heard of this chap called Post Malone. Yes,
he's got
I
his
heard
own event.
Oh, okay, right. I saw he was talking about how he.
When was it? Gary posted that he had an interview with the devs about something, and I was like, at the time, I was like, he could definitely have a skin in the game.
Yes, I remember you saying that. Yeah,
and turns out he's not just got a skin in the game because there is a skin with him in the game, but he's got a whole event themed around him, which is circus related. He's the ringmaster of whatever weird fucking circus in the apocalyptic bayou. Yeah. It's so what we've got on the map now, what they do with these events is there's usually a spot on the map which is not normally there. So in this event, we now have the big top on the map somewhere, which tends to attract people because A, it's new, and B, there's fucking loads of shit there. Like loads of loot, loads of ammo boxes, loads of perks to pick up for the pledge marks that you earn in the game. And there's quite a lot of fighting as a result at this area of the. So I've only played 4 games, I think, of the new event. I played once on my own, and it was kicking off at the big top. My plan was just to go in, get a few clues, and fuck off out. I was like, oh, that tent thing's quite close. Let's go and see what's going on down there. And I got quite close to it, and all I could hear was the death cries of people. I was like, oh, that's a bit dangerous in there. I might not go in there just yet. And then it went a bit quiet. I was like, I had a quick. I was in like a little compound quite near the tent, so I was just up and down the compound wall, trying to stay safe. Going, oh, nothing much seems to be going on here. So I fucking trotted out. Someone shot at me, so I ran away, and then heard someone else die. I was like, okay, that could have been the person who shot at me. So I went wandering out again. I was like, okay, well, where I got shot from, there's no one shooting at me now. So I was trucking around the tent, around the outskirts of the tent, and there was like a little entrance into the tent. And I was like, looks like there's about 3 or 4 dead bodies here. This looks like a bad place to be.
Right.
And but I was like, just had a quick nose through like the gap in the tent. It's like, can't see anything. It's really fucking quiet. So I took about 2 steps inside the tent. Then, from my right, in real life, my son speaks to me, and I sort of turned around and looked at him. And then I heard a gun go off and me die.
Oh no!
So that was the end of my first experience of the big top.
I was going to say that was the end of your son.
No. And then after that, like a couple of days or yesterday or day before, me and Fraser played a few games, and we've managed to get into. He went up to the tent the first time he'd experienced the tent, and someone shot him from 4 meters away. He was obviously just waiting at the entrance of the fucking tent. And I managed to I heard someone running around inside, and I think they fucked off or whatever. So I managed to get him up, and then we went for a little trek around the tent. And there's like circus games. There's you get on these events. There's always a way to earn event points, and this one is popping balloons. So you can either shoot the balloons or you can stab them with a knife or whatever. And so there's loads of balloons in the tent. You can just rack up stacks of points, like bang, 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 bang. There was almost like a sort of like a shooting gallery. And there was just loads of balloons along the walls. I was just like bang, 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 bang. But then there's also there's this new thing. You've always been able to walk on twigs and them snap and make shitloads of noise. But now there's this weird red spiky weed that if you tread on makes you bleed. It doesn't make any noise. It just makes you bleed. It's just be walking around and go, fuck, I just trod on that thing and I'm bleeding.
Right.
And obviously lots of people hang around in there. It's quite dangerous. But that's probably enough so far about Hunt Showdown. New event. It's Post Malone themed. I've played with Post Malone as my character because I played for the Battle Pass. He's the first skin you unlock is him. But then there's at the end of later on in the Battle Pass, there's a special version or whatever. Usually,
right.
There's fucking
maybe his pop off or something.
Maybe you can see more of his tats. He's got quite a lot of visible tats because he has tats on his face.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I listened to a couple of music tracks of his because of this game, because I was like, what does he actually do? I know he's a musician. I don't really know. I think I've heard his stuff, but I don't really know what any of his stuff is. But there we go. I listened to it. I was like, oh yeah, I know this one. He was in the Spider-Verse. One of his songs. It's one of his big hits, I guess. It's with somebody else as well. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I'll be subscribing. No offense, but it's not really my jam.
No.
But yeah, I'm sure it's not the last time you'll hear about Hunt Showdown. But there we go.
Still enjoying it?
So yeah, still enjoying it. And there's the reason we keep talking about it is because they keep fucking doing new things with it all the time. There's loads of new traits and stuff. Oh, I should say that. When you pledge to the factions now, you've always had these special traits that you get for pledging to a certain faction. So one of the ones that I picked up, I was like, I don't know what this. It was the first one I found, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll do this. And you become this called Poltergeist. So when you go into the dark site, loads of things that you can interact with around the environment are highlighted, and if you point at one and hold the mouse button down for 2 seconds or whatever, it'll activate it from a distance, so you can open doors or close doors.
Okay.
Make bells ring, turn on the fucking pianos, turn on gramophones, make crows fly away, and make horses make noise and shit like that. You can make all the environmental stuff. You can just trigger from a distance in this dark side. It doesn't cost you anything. But Fraser had
dark side.
Well, yeah, just you can't see properly and stuff. But if you're there's definitely, we were like, oh, this could be good when you do this, and this could be good. It can bring out new strategies and stuff like that. But Fraser picked one, and I was like, afterwards, I was like, that one sounds a lot more cool than my one. Because he had, I can't remember what it's called, Shadow something, but basically, when he's in Darksight, he can see all the enemies, like the just the fodder that's around, the E of the PvEVP, and he can just like almost like death grip them until their heads pop. Like he does the same sort of for the same amount of time. He has to hold the button down. It goes, doesn't cost him any health or anything, but it'll like just make it like the environmental fucking enemies, die basically from a distance in Darksight. So that's quite cool. I don't know what the other ones are because that's the only two that I've experienced, but they're interesting. They, like I say, they keep adding new stuff. It's cool. Usually, but that's enough. Enough hunch. More than enough.
Very good.
What else you got, Dave?
A new game I picked up.
A new game
this week. A new game called, well, it's a new to me. Widget Inc.
Widget. Oh my god,
Widget.
Dave! This looks like Factorio or something.
It's kind of it's basically an idle game, but it's not really. It's
one of those games that says it's an idle game, but you actually have to fucking do stuff on it.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. There's not a lot of idling. There's quite a lot of actual interaction and doing. You basically creating production. Production avenues. In that you're getting resources to create resources to unlock things and make more resources. I don't know why I picked this up. I think I saw it
Paid money
and
for
I was
this.
like, yeah, cut about £4. It's very small. But I've absolutely hammered it in about a week. And I completed it, prestiged it. Well, I completed the tech tree for the sort of completing it, and then it was like, oh, you've prestiged, or you can prestige, and you basically start again, and the production values double. And it's like, oh, it's one of these games. Okay, right, there's like you could do it again, and like it's doubled, and basically goes you go through quicker, getting more resources quicker the second time around, and then the third time. And I've had a look at the achievements, and there's an achievement for prestiging 50 times. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Do that by the end of the week.
It's a fun little game. All the different things that you can all the different animations for things that you can make are different, and the mini games that you do to get the resources from them manually are different. And it's a fun little clicky thing around, and it's fun to see numbers get higher and bigger, and then the chains get more complicated, and you keep sort of adding more, and then you realize you haven't got enough of the base production, so you basically scale up everything behind where you are. Yeah, it's good. And then all the different production things have once you get to a certain point, you get bonuses for having mines on tiles that contain rocks. And then the next thing is the iron production. The more iron production you've got close together, the more resources you get from them as a bonus. And then the widget factory, if you put them next to an iron, it's a bonus production on top of that. And you can not do any of the bonuses, but you should really to get more resources for later on. It's good. It's just a little addictive thing. But yeah,
have you not got enough of these games? No.
Yes, yeah, I do. I have too many.
Yes, You do.
Yeah. So it's funny because I thought I'd done. I thought I was like, I'm done now. Like I've got a prestige. I'm happy with it. And then like I had 10 minutes before we were jumping on here, and I was like, oh, I'll just jump on the widget ink, just to scale up the production a little bit. Yeah, I can't help it.
I've never played it.
So yeah. So that's it. That's what I'm going to talk about that one.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk about the other one as well?
Well, I'll do.
Oh no, you've got two more.
I've
You
got an
two.
extra one, and then
Yeah.
then we'll do the last one together. Yeah. Right. Okay. This won't take long. I played a bit more Talos Principle 2.
Cool.
Not loads. Done a load more puzzles. Just talked to a load more human robots. And it's. Have I got anything? Yeah, there's. I can't remember if I said. There was a new. You get new things to change the puzzles than the old game, and so there's like a thing that makes holes in certain types of wall. Now I can't remember if I said about that last week. Which means you can make light beams go through walls and stuff like that. So I haven't got much further than that because I've been playing a different game. So that was the Talos Principle 2. So now you can talk about your other one, Dave. Is this going to be equally brief, or is this?
It's going to be equally brief. Yeah.
Okay.
Storage Hunter Sim.
Is this a clicking game?
No, it's not actually. It's a 3D. It's quite bad. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto 3 style graphics style.
That's not that bad. That's not a bad thing.
GTA 3.
3? Oh, yeah, not 2. Not 2.
Not 2. 3. But basically, it's so silly. You go to a garage or a lot that's doing an auction. You look in the thing. You look in the garage, so to speak. You go, oh yeah, there's some nice things, and you bid on it against the AI to win it. And then you take the items, you appraise them with a tool. You can do some repairs as well. And the better tools that you have, the more complicated things or the higher value things you can appraise or repair. And then you take them to a pawn shop and you sell them. Later on, you get more money and you can buy the pawn shop and make more money from that way.
Can you take them to an auction to do that?
No, you take them to a pawn shop.
Okay.
But you can buy the pawn shop and then you can
buy
hire
the actual
staff.
pawn shop.
Buy the pawn shop.
Oh my god! It's next level.
It's pretty shit.
It sounds like a combination of several BBC daytime TV shows.
Yeah, the fun thing about this game is trying to fit everything that you've got onto a van, and it's one of these. It's kind of like this is the game. Is that it's a physics-based Tetris style Tetris style sort of puzzle game,
like a Resident Evil briefcase.
Kind of, but you get a little van, one of these like 3/4 sized vans.
A Luton van.
Well, could be, with a flatbed, and it's basically you've got to stack everything in there to get it to the pawn shop, but
without breaking
you
it.
stack it up without it falling off. But yeah, that's the game. It's fitting all your shit into the van.
Right.
To stack it up so that you can drive it there. Once you're driving the van, it's all locked, so stuff doesn't fall off. But it's got to be. It's
not Death Stranding. It's not that
it's
good.
not Death Stranding. No. It's either got to be touching something that's like already touching something else that's on the flatbed, or it's got to be touching like something around it, but it's got to be connected to your van. So you can like put a table.
You have this ridiculously
across the whole thing.
Stacked.
Yeah.
Things sticking out of the roof. Or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fun bit.
So you can Death Stranding it.
I don't know what you do in Death Stranding.
Well, you can have ridiculously tall stacks of stuff on the guy's back to carry.
Yeah,
But like,
but
then if you
once
fall
it's
over, then it just fucking goes everywhere. Obviously.
no, your van doesn't really fall over. Like you can crash it, but everything stays. But you've got to stack it all up and then get in the van, and then it's stuck
Before
there
it falls over.
before it falls over. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
So
okay.
that's the fun bit. That's the silly bit about the game.
Okay, it doesn't sound like the worst game ever.
It's a bit of silly fun. So
We
no,
need a
yeah,
bit of silly fun in our lives, don't we?
yeah, that's the one. That's it.
All
That was
right.
just a quick one.
Okay,
And,
that's all
and
right.
then we can talk about our last one, I think.
Well, we both played the same game.
We have.
Quite an important game for a big company, I guess, probably. The game being Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's a Game Pass job for us.
Yep.
You can purchase this game on PC or Xbox, but not PlayStation or Switch, as far as I'm aware. It's definitely not PlayStation. Not yet, anyway. I'm pretty sure that's right, isn't it? It's not on PlayStation yet.
Don't believe so.
No. Anyway, so Indiana Jones and the Great Circle came out Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday, actually. Tuesday's a day, isn't it? That things come out. So, well, where do we start with this? It's
From the
from
beginning.
Machine Games, so it's first person. I should think you should say it to start with. So it ain't Uncharted or Tomb Raider.
Well, that's what my first thing is. Is this just an Uncharted clone with the real Indiana Jones?
You mean
not.
Uncharted, which was based on Indiana Jones?
They did it 10 years ago. You know, it was I was gonna say Indiana Jones. Uncharted was a fantastic game.
First one wasn't that great, to be fair.
I think for what it was,
it was all right. But I think it definitely got better.
Yeah.
So yeah, Machine Games, the people that made this. So they're first person people who made the modern Wolfensteins. And yeah, so now we're Indiana Jones. It's like they have to make games where you're fighting Nazis and fascists. What have they got such a thing about fascists being bad people? I don't know.
Everyone can agree the Nazis are bad.
Can they though?
They can't.
I'm not sure they can these days.
They can't. Well, they can't do the typical Chinese or Korean or.
The Nazis of Germany in 1930s were bad. Apparently. Maybe. They had some good ideas though, according to some people. Anyway. So yeah. Anyway, enough of the fascists. You fight a lot of Nazis and fascists. Actually, to be fair, I haven't fought any Nazis yet. Fascists. It literally says fascist on the screen when they talk. They're Italian fascists. So far, as I've got anyway. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool little tutorial at the beginning of the game. I don't really want to spoil it if people haven't played it. But I was just like, this all seems quite familiar when I first loaded it. And I was like, oh, it is quite familiar. That's all I'll say about the tutorial. But the tutorial's good. Mm-hmm. And then you get to play the new stuff, the new story that you've never seen before.
So the story is based between the first film and the second film.
Is that right? I didn't really know what the timeline was. But it's like, you're not old Indiana Jones, like the most recent film.
No.
But what's his name? Marcus is there, isn't he? Marcus, old Denham Elliott from the movies of old. He's your college friend. A college as in when you're a lecturer at college. So yeah, I can't remember quite what happens, but basically, oh yeah, the college gets broken into by some dude, and he leaves something behind, and then off you go to Italy to see your old mate Antonio in the Vatican. So I said they're Italian fascists, but they've invaded the Vatican, and
Yes.
that's as far as I've got. Basically, I've spent all my time in the Vatican City. I haven't left there yet. There's a lot to do there for a very small place, apparently.
Yeah. Well, you say very small. It's
I mean, in terms of this whole like country stuff, it's the smallest state in the world, isn't it? Something Vatican City.
Yes, but it's quite old. There's lots of buildings and rooftops apparently.
I haven't done any Assassin's Creed bullshit yet. Oh, I have been on the roofs a couple of times, but yeah. But basically, the game is a bit of a stealth game. It would appear to me.
At the moment, yes.
So far, at least, yeah. It's like, well, I say that you're supposed to avoid combat, I guess. I mean, when you think about it, Indiana Jones does kind of spend quite a lot of time in the films hiding behind crates, talking to somebody about what they're going to do, and then trying to avoid people rather than fighting them. But inevitably, he does get into a few fisticuffs. And I quite enjoyed the fisticuffs in the game, I have to say. I'm playing mouse and keyboard, so there's a lot of keys to remember. I feel like it would be better on a controller. Tried it on the controller on the PC. Something's a bit off with the controller on PC, I found.
Yeah, no, I played mouse and keyboard as well.
Yeah, well, like, I'd be like, it would be fine, but it felt like it was a little bit laggy on the controller. And then I'd stop moving, but there would be this weird stick drift where the view would move. And I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, I just went back to mouse and keyboard because that doesn't happen there. But there's a lot of keys for like, because you have like a key for blocking punches, and then there's like, you can dodge. I swear all of it would be a lot easier on controller. Because it's just a sort of like a natural thing that you just press B to dodge or whatever. Don't you? And it'll be depending on what direction you're pulling this left stick, which way you dodge and stuff. Whereas now it's like I have to press space bar to dodge, which is a jump button normally. So yeah, a lot of buttons do different things depending on the context that you're in. It would seem because you can lean round corners, but only when you're crouched and stuff.
I did that mechanic like twice.
Yeah. Well, I definitely did it a couple of times when I was sneaking around, and there was a one part of the game where there's like a load of bad dudes. Fascists, and you've got like you're walking around like a tomb or whatever. So it was a lot of like peeking around corners because like if you walked around a corner, they literally like, oh, they're going to see me. It was quite forgiving though in that like if you like literally walk around a corner, there's like a circle that appears above the enemy and it ticks around until they go, fucking, there's a guy here when you're standing right in front of them. So. I don't know. It's a bit silly in that sort of sense, I guess, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's a bit weird. Like, obviously, it's not Harrison Ford doing the voice. It sounds a bit like Indiana Jones, but it's not quite Indiana Jones. So that's a little bit off-putting in a way, but I think I'll get used to that. Because I know, like, what was it? Well, Harrison Ford's he's a bit of an old man now.
Yeah.
And you can tell he sounds a bit like an old man when he talks. So, I don't
he is an old man.
Well, exactly. That's what I think. He is a bit of an old man. But it's like, is he nearly 80 or something like that? It's quite old. But yeah. So it would have been weird if he'd have done it. Honestly. But yeah, so far, like I've done it a good few hours, but I don't feel like I've got very far because I'll get sucked into this whole. Oh, I'm in this tomb, and there's like the mainline path that you're supposed to go to, but there's obviously little things that you can, like little secret places that you can find and pick up ancient relics, and it tells you how many of the relics there are to find. You're like, oh, I suppose I better fucking find all them now.
This is the Assassin's Creed part.
Yeah, well, it doesn't fucking shine them on a map for you. It doesn't do that bullshit.
No.
But
well, you can go to the map and choose alternate like things to. You can do that.
Okay.
I found that out.
Well, at least you can turn it on and off.
How many cats have you photographed yet?
Cats. Oh, I think I've only done 2 that was together.
Oh,
I've taken
didn't know
quite a
that's
lot
two
of
together.
photos
Oh,
because
that
it
puzzle.
does tells you, like you pick up a camera, you have to do. There's a thing you have to prove to your friend that there's some
Yeah,
stuff
some
going on or
hidden
whatever.
text.
Yeah.
It took me effing ages to get the perfect picture of that text on one of them.
But one of
But I
the
just didn't.
most.
I didn't understand the
Yeah. Well,
actual.
I clocked fair like one of them. I was a bit like, why didn't that recognise that? And then I realised like there's like sort of the
A
crosshairs and there's like a
square
square
inside.
around it,
Yeah,
and then there's like another square that appears
yeah.
outside, and when they line up to the main 2 squares line up, that's when you take the picture.
Then you
But it
take the
also
picture,
says take picture above the camera.
yeah.
So it's quite, it gives you the hints, and like you'll be walking around a room and all of a sudden a little camera symbol will pop up. It's like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to take a picture somewhere in here, and it's usually really close to where you're standing. So I mean, some of the picture stuff is optional, some of it is mandatory. So yeah, I'm in so far. I like, because what you can do with, like, you have got a gun as Indiana Jones, but I haven't shot my gun once yet. I don't know if you've ever actually taken a shot with the gun.
I've picked up a rifle.
Yeah, I did that, but you have actually got a pistol when you're Indiana Jones.
Yes.
You had one anyway.
Yeah.
A revolver. But like,
Yeah.
if you select the revolver as a weapon, you can. There's a thing that says, I can't remember what it was. Press this button, and it use it as a melee weapon. So it's all melee combat largely for me. And obviously, you have this other thing with you, the whip. You have the whip, so you can do the whole whip to like places in the air to do the rope swings and climb up the whip to get to places where you can't normally get to, and it's fucking Indiana Jones basically.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you can't hurt the dogs. You can whip to scare the dogs.
Yeah, they run away, don't they, when you crack the whip?
But no murdering the dog.
I tried to punch the dog, honestly, because I was like, I don't really know what's supposed to. I saw him from a distance. There was a guard with a dog. I was like, oh, am I going to have to punch this dog or shoot the dog or something? It's like, I don't really know how I'm going to have to deal with that when I get to it. But yeah, it literally tells you, basically, it's like, crack the whip to make the dog run away. I was like, okay. But I didn't do that. I punched the dog. He ran away. Didn't let me kill him. Phew. That would have been a bit of a downer. Indiana Jones killing dogs. Yeah, so I don't know. Feel like it's probably very early days in the game, because it tends to travel around the world a bit when you're doing Indiana Jones games. Well, in the films, anyway. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. First person thing isn't throwing me.
No?
No. It's like that's what they do. The Wolfenstein games were all first person.
Yeah.
But when you look down, you can see your feet and your body, which I kind of like. I did notice that.
I'm not sure if I tested that myself, but
well, I didn't mean it. I was just like, oh, look, he has got feet and everything. It's like you are actually a person, like in the environment. It's not just like a camera floating around. So that was quite good. But yeah, it is very heavily stealth. Like, you have to sneak around past people. There's a few of the fascists. They're like special fascists, the captains or whatever. They because you get a disguise at one point. You're walking around as a priest.
Yes.
Most people are like, hello, father, blah, 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 in Italian. But you always speak in English. And no one bats an eyelid. But yeah, the captains, they're like, that guy's outfit looks sus.
Yeah.
And they call him
the
meeting.
commanders all like, there's like people saying, he's not keeping his uniform very clean.
His uniform hasn't been washed or something. It's like, what the fuck? He's got an unkempt suit. It's like, what? I was like, okay. Well, I've been climbing up fucking drain pipes, mate. You try and keep your suit nice and clean when you're doing that. There's a stamina meter as well. when you're
There
doing
is.
the climbing and stuff like that, and having fights. So you can't just like lever people non-stop with your fists because you just run out of stamina, and then you can hear them go and all that sort of stuff. So, and then they punch you and it hurts. But yeah, I'd like to probably play it with a controller, honestly. But that shit is fucked up on PC for sure. So I was like trying to change Z zones to make it better, but it's like, no, this is just weird now. So mouse and keyboard, I guess it is, but I don't think that's an issue on the console version. It doesn't seem to. I definitely read someone else saying the same thing. Like it feels weird on a controller on PC, but it's fine on console.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't know, you overall, is that similar?
Yeah, it's not too bad. The story is quite engaging. Yeah.
What was the terrible film? Was that Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than that. So far, anyway.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's got a lot of callbacks to, let's say, the first and second. Well, first film definitely. It feels like an adventure. So yeah, I am enjoying it, and yeah, it's say the first person. I think if they'd done it third person, then it would have been a complete rip off of
Uncharted.
Nathan Drake,
Yeah.
Uncharted. Yeah. Even though like Nathan Drake and Uncharted was a direct sort of taken inspiration from
Oh, it's not a
Indiana
rip-off,
Jones.
no? Not a rip-off.
No, it's not a rip off. No, it had its own story and everything. But yeah, the fact that it is first person, it does kind of make it into its own game. And yeah, it's good. I like it. Yeah, and it's free. I'm like, well, it's free. Yeah, Game Pass. So, lots of people are playing it. So
yeah. How many of the veteran gamers are playing it for this game? See.
Okay.
Someone will probably play it for half an hour. Mentioning no names. Anyway.
That's if Chinny picks it up at all.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything. I reckon he's probably been playing it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll find out. He asked a question, which makes me think he must have been playing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Never really tell.
Maybe he's waiting for us to say if it's good or not.
Yeah.
I was like,
maybe.
oh, okay, I better put an hour or two.
I think
if
you like Indiana Jones, and you kind of got on with the first few new Wolfensteins, not necessarily that one with the two girls in. That wasn't that great. But and you don't mind having a few fisticuffs in first person, then you probably like it. So there we go.
Yeah,
that's it. And with that,
awesome.
I think we've talked about all the games.
Oh, we've talked about all the games.
All the games, every single game ever made.
All the games. Yeah, I think we've had a pretty good catch up.
Yes.
I'm just
apparently
seeing
my PC wants to do an update as well. I've noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. The little
it's like,
symbols
what's that?
come up
Oh,
on... yeah.
Don't fucking suddenly do that in the middle of the show.
Cool. All right. Shall we call that a show and I'll do my outro?
I think so.
Awesome.
We talked about a lot of games. Good. You did a good job, Dave. Well done.
I think so. I just needed 3 weeks off.
Don't buy any more fucking clicking games.
No. Yeah, I'll get some. I'll try and branch out. I still really want to play Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I should do that
do.
as well.
Yeah.
I've got fucking hundreds of games to choose from, so.
Eventually. And you always go back to Hunt.
I haven't played Witcher 3 since I bought that fucking 8 years ago.
Witcher 4 got.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about fucking. I didn't watch the Game Awards. Did you watch any of it?
No.
No.
Right, we'll talk about it next week.
Maybe. Well, speaking of Game Awards, I guess we should probably start thinking about Game of the Year because it's only 2 weeks of December left.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Oh, I did put that thing together. All right, I'll get you the what I put together,
Yeah,
and then we can put it out on Discord.
yeah.
And then community can
Dave's
vote
done
for
a
their own.
form. Dave's done
I've done a
a
form.
clever Google form for everyone to just put their shit in and it cleverly work out who's going to win Game of the
Hopefully,
Year without any fucking dodgy maths from a certain Canadian.
yeah, yeah. All right, I'll get that together and I'll make sure that's put up
But we'll
onto our
probably
Discord.
talk about that a bit more next week about what we're looking for and what's
Yeah.
allowed and what's not.
Yep, yep. But yeah, I'll fish it out. I think it's in my Google Docs or something.
Yeah.
But we'll get it out and we'll put it on our feeds.
Yes.
Cool.
Maybe I'll put something on the website.
Ooh. Cool. All right, I'll do my outro and we'll call it a show.
Cool.
Awesome. So, right, hang on. Hang on.
Oh, it's a big build up. It better be good, Dave.
I've got to get a breath. I haven't done this for such a long time. Thank you for listening to the Seal Podcast. If you'd like to ask us questions or get involved, please contact us either on our web form at sealpodcast.com. You can also contact us on our email, which is sealpodcast@gmail.com, or join us on a Discord server. Our link is pinned on Twitter, Blue Sky, Acast, YouTube, which is at Seal Podcast, X, which is at Seal Podcast, Blue Sky, which is Blue Sky at Seal Podcast.
At sealpodcast.com.
At sealpodcast.com.
Blue
Oh,
Sky.
yes. Okay, yeah, at Blue Sky. Blue Sky.
No.
What? Is it
Just
changed, is it?
On Blue Sky, it's at sealpodcast.com. That's all you need.
At sealpodcast.com. Cool, lovely. Oh yeah, I'm just looking at that. Got quite a few followers and posts and stuff. Lovely. As I say, we have YouTube and Twitch channels which we upload and stream to. Neil, do you want to do a shout out for our chattage?
Just say thanks for joining Arnie and Andy for chatting. I don't know if anyone else was lurking. Didn't look. But thanks for anyone who's watched this or what have you.
Yeah, we had quite a few watchers earlier. So yeah, just
you lurkers.
The silent watchers. That's fine now.
We don't mind.
Thank
we
you
don't
guys.
Mind.
Cool. All right, that's the show.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, watching, etc. Probably around next week, I guess. It's the 20th of December, next Friday. Unless anyone's got any work functions going on. I certainly won't be. I'll have done a full week of work and I'll be a bit fucked and knackered. But don't stop me. I'm hardcoring on.
I think I got Friday off, so I'll maybe start on the beers early.
It could be a mess next week. A Christmas mess. Maybe we'll do a panto, Dave.
Yeah. I'll get dressed up.
You can be Widow Wanky or whatever her name is. Anyway, with that horrible image in your mind, we should probably get the fuck out of here. So,
all right, mate.
We'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.